Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to class. Let's just start today with kind of a check-in with ourselves and with our bodies. There's kind of a lot going on in world news and things. I know that I think everybody's feeling the weather changes and current events and a lot of things going on. So let's just kind of take a moment and let me get a thumbs up from you guys if you can hear and see me fine. Thank you. Okay, so let's do this. So whether you're seated or standing, let's just kind of check in. If you want, you can go ahead and place your hands on your heart. Just take a few breaths, smooth and slow. You can count your breaths. Okay, so we're just doing a check-in. I think everyone's with us now. Hands on your heart and just take some breaths in and out. You can count if you want. You can close your eyes if you want. If you can, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And just check in kind of quietly with yourself and with your space that is in your chest, in your heart area. Just kind of sit with yourself and with whatever sensation is there for a few moments. Continuing to breathe slowly and smoothly. And as we do this body check-in, whatever sensations come up, we can just kind of let them come and go like clouds. Whatever thoughts come up, we can just let them float by. We see them. We don't feel the need to stop the thoughts or sensations, but just letting them go gently without judgment. Feeling your lungs filling with air and gently releasing on your out breath. And anytime throughout your day, as I said before, there's a lot going on in current events. There's a lot going on. Anytime you're feeling a little overwhelmed or like you just need a little break, you can sit down in a quiet space if you have the time and the opportunity, and just do this again, a little self check-in and just a little self-compassion for yourself and however you're feeling throughout your day. And hopefully that will just kind of lighten things up for you, just kind of give you the opportunity to let some things go. So, all right, so that's our brief little warm up and check-in for today. And let's go ahead and start moving our body now that we've done that. And I think we'll start with some wrist circles. And as you're warming up, just continuing that self-compassion. Continuing to release whatever sensation you feel as you're going through these movements. Reaching up over your head a little bit and continuing with those wrist circles. We'll protect our head with one hand, spiral to the side with the other. palm up, switch hands, spiral, palm up. You can just kind of let that be a smooth flowing movement, back and forth, side to side. You can twist a little bit more and rotate behind yourself for a little bit more of a stretch. You can slow that down a little bit if you want. All right, some arm circles. Let's check in with shoulder position. Just kind of loosen up doing some shoulder circles. And then just check in, maybe a shrug up, shrug back, shrug down, a couple of times up, back, down. Just kind of making that big circle and checking in with our shoulder position, and then kind of trying to find a neutral so that we're not feeling too slouched forward, and also we're not feeling too arched back, just somewhere nice and neutral in the middle. All right, couple more. Remembering to breathe and release. If you're feeling any tension, you can limit your range of motion a little less or a little more as you feel is appropriate just for today. All right, let's do a little side to side, little gentle twist. If you want to bring in your arms for a bigger motion, go ahead. Give yourself, with closed fists, go ahead and give yourself a little back massage here around your kidney area. Just kind of loosening things up. And if you're standing, you can widen your stance a little bit and feel secure, bend your knees a little bit. And then we'll rotate our upper body, doing some hip circles. And again, choose the range of motion that's comfortable for you. It can be a bigger circle or a smaller circle. And make sure you do both directions. And I've mentioned this before, if you feel a little more in your right side or your left side of your body, you can do a few more rotations one way or the other, so you feel a little bit evened out. All right, and then let's, I know we've done bow stance before, but just to review, so let's start with checking in, what is your shoulder width? Okay, and from there, we're gonna turn our toe out, step forward into a bow stance, and I'll demonstrate from the side again. So in the bow stance, you should just feel a little bit more weight in your front leg. Your front toe is pointing forward. Your back toe, if you try to point this one straight ahead, it's going to feel a little uncomfortable for you. So just make sure to leave that turned out. Then your hip will be nice and open. So, and from there, in your bow stance, we can drop down. And again, if you need to go a little less, adjust your stance. We'll go ahead and circle forward. So we're going to do some hip circles. And you're starting from the back and kind of pushing through your hip flexor through the front a little bit. And from sitting and just from the nature of most of the positions we're in a lot of the time, the hip flexors can get really tight. So just again, go slow if you need to. If you prefer to have your arms relaxed or out for balance, you can just do that as you need. And again, we'll switch, remembering to keep your back leg and your toe turned out a little bit, and your weight a little bit more in your front leg. But as you're doing this circling, you'll feel your weight shifting. And again, if you're feeling a little out of balance at all when you're doing this, just adjust your stance a little bit and push from the back forward and feel a little bit of a stretch through your hip flexors. If you want to get fancy, you can add some wrist circles in here too. Feels kind of nice. All right. All right. So since we were just kind of reviewing bow stance, let's do just a couple, let's just do some weight shifting and some stance work. Let me step forward so you can see my feet here a little bit. So shifting weight, and you can do this. So even if you're seated, you can do weight shifting side to side and just practice shifting into the left side, shifting into the right side. It can be really, really subtle, but just feeling where gravity is in your body. Just this shifting. So in a bow stance, when we want to move, we're going to shift into one leg, step out. Now, my weight's in my front leg. If I want to change my feet, I'm going to rock back, turn my toe out, step up, then step forward, shift my weight into the front leg. When I want to move again, shift back, turn the toe out, shift into this leg, step up, place my heel, roll into my toe. When I want to change, turn the toe out. Shifting really gradually, and I'll let you guys just practice that on your own a little bit, a few times. So if you have the space to move around, you can kind of go in a straight line, just practicing stepping up, bow stance with your right foot forward, stepping up, bow stance with your left foot forward. Just practice a few of those. I'll demonstrate straight from the side. And again, if you don't have a big space, sorry about that. Oh, potential spam can go away. Oh, it's always interrupted, aren't we? All right, back to the bow stances. All right, so if you have to do a change step, if you're in a smaller space, you're still gonna push back. Your weight is in your back leg. And instead of stepping forward, you're just gonna step back. So it's all kind of whatever space you have to move in, just kind of adapt as needed. And a reminder too about bow stance, you know, and you can look as you're learning and practicing, you can stop and check in and look down at your feet and just see, is my knee extending past my toe, or am I kind of, you know, in a bow stance? So if you've seen, there's a lot of different martial arts styles, right? And if you watch some people, they can get into like these really low stances, right? And that's great if you're really fit and you're really practiced and like every day you're doing this. Leg work is gonna be like, just, you're gonna have to be so strong in your legs. I think some of the old masters would practice doing Tai Chi under a table. Okay, so we're not gonna try to do that today. But you know, there's kind of this middle ground in Tai Chi. So that can be all fine and really beautiful. And if you're fit and you're ready to do that and it feels good to you to go into a really low stance or to do that, after you've practiced and you're confident, you can sort of develop your own style a little bit. But when we start, we want to make sure that our body's really comfortable. And as we're practicing new things, that we're just kind of somewhere in the middle ground. So, and I'll talk about that a lot, just finding that balance of, you know, so if we get back into our bow stance and we want to work on hands for brush me, this forward hand, and I'm going to do a lot of review like we did in the last lessons, and that's fine. But this is, so I'm not all angles, right? Our body has some curves and some roundness to it. And there's strength in that. There's strength in arches and buildings, and there's strength in a little bit of roundness in our bodies as well. So this is kind of the position that we want to be in. So try that without moving your feet. You know, find your comfortable bow stance and try that with your arms. So you've got one in a ward off where your palm is facing you, and you've got one back here ready to push. So both your palms are actually facing you if you look at your palms. And then this front is going to brush across this knee, and this one is going to come down and out from your chest. If we try to push from up here, that's going to be really uncomfortable for our shoulder. So even though our hand is up a little bit and back here, when we go to push forward, we sink down and push from here. So there's a few things going on, and we'll just kind of go through each one slowly. But for now, just in place, practice your arms a few times. One in a ward off, and you can just switch. So this might feel a little awkward, and part of that is that there's no power when we're not really moving. So let's try in a standing position as well. So one ward off, one from here, just alternating. Ward off from here. Ward off from here. So, and if we focus on the hands and the upper body, there's a little contraction and then a little opening. A little contraction to gain power for the push, and then a little opening. So you can practice kind of bringing your core together and then a little release. This seems really similar, like we could go right into Repulse monkey, right? So a lot of these postures are similar. So why don't we do that while we're talking about hands? So for Repulse monkey, for the feet, if you want to do this, we're just going to step, and you can do a little drag step. So this one is very uncomplicated with the feet. Shoulder width, step back. This one, you're not turning your toes out. Both feet are pointed straight ahead, and you can just do a slide and a slide, okay? Same thing from the side. So again, I'm still upright, you know, I'm not way out here. I'm not taking a big step. Just kind of back, 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 okay? So in the hands for Repulse Monkey, are gonna look like this. Similar to brush knee. And I'll do a few from the side. Everybody still breathing? I hope so. So one thing about breath, if we hold it, we feel tense. So one thing we can practice doing as we're changing hands is timing our breath. So for here, I'm opening, I could breathe in, change my hands. I can hold for a moment, but don't hold for too long. Release. Again, you can have a little pause before your in-breath to kind of reset and check your hand posture. Breathe in. Breathe in. And out. In opening. In opening. Out on the push. I just want to check in and ask, how does that feel? Do we have any questions? Is anything confusing? Do you want clarification for anything so far? Just a little more practice? All right, awesome. All right, so let's just do, I'll just give you guys the opportunity just to practice this on your own, at your own pace. Go as slow or as fast as you want. Left side, right side, alternating. Just kind of get used to this feeling in your body. Comfortable enough to practice on your own. So if you'll notice, I'm kind of following with my eyes, this backhand, and then turning my head. Following this backhand with my eyes. More. Again, you guys will notice this theme of opposite hands. So if you're getting a little bit confused, you know, as long as you've got your hands opposite and changing, you're on the right track. So one palm up, one palm down. one palm up, one palm down. And for Repulse Monkey, your front foot and your front arm are together. All right, shake out a little bit, take a little sip of water if you want. Let's check in with you guys. So today, like, I just want to hear, like, what's one nice thing that I can do for myself today? Today, I put my Arnica homeopathic in my water this morning. So I'm working on staying hydrated, and that's a little bit of an anti-inflammatory for me. And it doesn't, like, some of us just woke up, so no pressure. Like, you didn't already have to do something, but just what is one thing today that you think you could do for yourself, for your self-care? And you can raise your hand if you want to go first. All right, go ahead, unmute.
Thing that's good today was probably just being able to sleep in and regain my energy and just have a better aura on the day, kind of just be more positive despite all the current news that's going on.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to process. And if we feel sleepy and like sleeping in, I think that is totally fine, totally called for. And we will process things when we have the energy to deal with it, you know? So that's awesome, Danny. Thank you for sharing that. All right, go ahead.
I'll be napping.
I'll be napping. Rest is a great theme. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, I hear that. Anyone else want to share?
I guess anyone else means me.
That is you. No pressure.
I actually just ate solid food for the first time in a few days.
Yeah, are you feeling better?
I am.
Okay.
I wasn't yesterday, and I was awful the day before, and the day before that. Somebody brought something home from church and shared it with me. but he has the immune system of like a warrior monk, so he didn't get anything.
Sometimes caring is not caring, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I also do morning prayer every morning with a group of people, and then we have a chat afterwards. So that's an amazing way to start the day every day.
Yeah, a little gratitude, a little community. That's awesome. Yep. All right. Well, thanks for being here, guys. I'm not sure where we're at with our time here, but let's just kind of continue. And if we get cut off, I apologize, but we'll have the recording for later. But let's just do a little bit more practicing and just kind of keep things chill and easy for today. So, all right, so we've had some review. Let's do cloud hands a little bit. So again, we have opposite palms. And I'm just running through some different things so that we're moving different directions, right? So, you know, with Repulse Monkey, we're going in a straight line backwards, right? Oh, we're running out of time. All right, 10 minutes. Oh no, we're good. We're totally good. There we go. All right, no rush. So cloud hands. This one, we're gonna go sideways, okay? And again, we can do big steps or little steps. I encourage starting out just doing the smaller ones and just practicing that weight shifting. And again, so one of the reasons that I'm not jumping right into teaching forms and I want to do a lot of this left side, right side is most of the forms are for right side. And I can feel it in my body, even when I'm demonstrating for you guys, that I have a preference. Most of us have a side preference, right hand, left hand dominant. I'm very right side dominant. So let's just kind of keep in mind. So if I do, when you guys are practicing at home, if you guys do, you know, 4 cloud hands this way, do another 4 cloud hands this way. And whatever your space is, like you might have 2, right? I don't know what your practice space is. You might have 2, you might have 8, whatever it is. Just kind of remember, do the right and left. And that's really good for our brain to be working both left and right sides. So, you know what? I'm going to make myself go the other way. I'm going to make myself do that. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but that's fine. So I want to go this way. I'm going to turn this way. Change my hands. All right, if I want to go somewhere, I'm going to step out a little bit. Shift, turn. When I come here, see how my leg and arm are a little bit of a counterbalance? Change hands. Arm and leg, a little bit of a counterbalance. And if it feels good, in breath when you're opening, out breath when you're turning. So gentle, smooth breath. When you're turning your upper body and your hands, do it as a unit. So you're moving your torso and your hands as a unit, so it doesn't really feel like twisting. More just turning. I ran out of space, so I'm going to go back and start stepping the other direction. So this one, your palms are both towards your body, and you have this nice, rounded, soft position with your arms. Your top hand is about at your throat height or your neck height. And your bottom hand is about navel or belly button height. I ran out of space, so I'm going to start changing my feet the other way. So again, when I reach out, I've got this arm. So I don't want to be off balance, but before I step, I've got this arm ready here. Change my hands, shift my weight into this leg, turn. Reaching out, that gives me the balance to move my feet. I'm just going to turn. You guys can keep going where you are, but just from the side, I'm going to do a couple of these for you so you can kind of see where my arms are, right? This way. And you can see my palms when I'm changing. They face each other. Switch. When you change your hands, they face each other. Again, keep going, but just a reminder that this is all nice and soft and rounded, right? Hands have some space from the body. I'm not here, and I'm also not way out here, but just relaxed. So elbow has a nice curve in it, a nice little bend. I'm not too relaxed, and I'm not too far out. Just a couple reminders. Kind of glide your hands. This is called cloud hands, and it really feels like that. Go back from here. So without me talking for a few minutes here, just work on counting maybe 6 to 8 repetitions and just focus on your breath and your timing. And you don't have to follow me, just pick a pace that's comfortable with your breath. So whatever the timing is for you to comfortably breathe in and out, move your hands and your body in conjunction with your breath. And I'll just let you guys do that. Count 6 or 8 on your own. All right. So when you finish your repetitions, does anybody have any details that they want more clarification on for hands or feet? Or is that just feeling good just to practice and do some of that for right now? Does anybody have any clarifications for details? Okay, and you can always send an email if you're just like, what was it? Which way did my palms go? Or whatever, you can always just ask and we'll review it again. So yeah, Danny?
But that cloud movement, you know, like this and then like that.
Yeah.
I know that you have to be one neck, one belly button. I
Yeah.
was just wondering, is it like how fast are you supposed to go or how slow you're supposed to go? Is there like a preference?
That's really a great question. So let that, when you're practicing on your own, go as fast or as slow as you want to go. And with Tai Chi, generally slower is better, especially when you're learning something new. So you can go really, really slow if that feels good. And you're just kind of figuring out all these pieces and parts. So neck height, belly button height, there's a lot of details to remember. And I don't want it to be overwhelming. So just practice for the best, just practice to the best of your ability. So, and if it's not perfect practice, just come to class next time with a question and we'll sort it out. So
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I think we're gonna get booted off here pretty quick, but yeah, I'll look forward to seeing everybody next week if you're gonna join us. And thanks so much for coming today. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.